Hi everyone, I'd like to do a little video today on a subject that I've been working a lot with my pupils over the past number of weeks. And it's quite a simple one, but it has quite a big effect on risk and safety and how you go about doing your drive. And it's quite simply learning to creep before you actually start to move properly. Now, what I'm getting on about is people mainly use the feet to go, and they have it with that mentality that moving the feet means go. We see it all the time when people emerge quickly and without proper observations. And what we're going to do today is trying to just take a little different take on it. I'm going to try and encourage people to use that first start off, not to say go to yourself, but actually to think maybe yes, maybe no. It gives us time to look, to decide, and then to do safely. So we've got the first scenario here. I'm parked in Liverpool city centre. I've just dropped someone off at the hotel just over my shoulder, and I thought I'd use this opportunity to drive through a little bit of the city and on my way back home to show this. So we've got the first scenario in front where we're moving off on an angle, and this is what this scenario is called. It's something that happens on the driving test as well. Your examiner may very well park you in close-ish to a parked car and you've got to move away. And I see it quite often, people surging as they move off. And it's this surge that we're trying to stop. I've got my foot cam operating so you can see where my feet are throughout this video. So hopefully that's going to be a help. So what I'm actually going to try and do with this is get all ready. And when it looks as though it's pretty clear, I'm not just going to go, I'm going to use my feet to creep. Just got to cancel on the signal because there's a car and a cyclist coming the other way. So we'll wait till it is clear. And now I'm going to creep. Now that doesn't mean I'm definitely doing it. I'm having another check. I'm checking for other dangers. And it's only now where I'm going to lift my clutch fully up and get the car moving. There's the first one. The next one is this scenario. I'm creeping slowly now to actually show this van that I'm going. And that's another important part to it. You can use this creep to actually control certain things. People coming out of side entrances. My movement was really telling the pedestrian there on the left hand side that I was going and they were going to have to wait. Now, I'm just going to do a little lane change just because it's to where we want to go a little bit further up. But we do a similar type of thing here at queues. People are in all too much of a rush to go when the lights change. And that's when they're going to miss. Maybe a cyclist coming through the inside, maybe someone walking out from behind a parked car. So get into that habit of just creeping that tiny little bit for a moment or two, just to give yourself a chance to observe and to see and make things safe. So let's have a little look when these lights eventually change, what I'm talking about. If there were people stood at the side, again, that little bit of a creep just says to them, hang on a minute, we're going. But if you move off quickly, they don't get that prep to know that you're going to move. So it's safe all round. So I'm creeping, having a look, mirrors, good. Now I'm going to go. And that's slightly different than how most people work. Okay, so we are going to go ahead at the roundabout. And I've been teaching my pupils to do this at roundabouts as well, and it's made a big difference. It's actually allowed them a better ability to choose gaps and spaces. I'll see whether I can give you a little idea about what I'm talking about. So, when the cars are coming, don't start moving your feet when the gap arrives. That's too late. You've got to see the gap arriving and learn to creep so your feet are just starting, so you're ready to go into the space. And that's key. Even when the queue starts to creep, I'm watching the vehicle at the front of the queue. All right, it's a busy roundabout. We're right at the entrance to one of the tunnels, but I'm creeping early and I'm having a little look. Let's see whether I can show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to try and spy my gap. My gap's on its way. I'm creeping now, so I'm ready to go. And that allows you actually to exit a little quicker. People wait for these gaps, then they start to move the feet, and then they rush, which can cause stalling problems. It can also lead to what I've said about a lack of observing, a lack of observing properly. New teeth again today, everyone. And that's the key to safety. When people do things in a rash, rushed way, that's when they're going to get it wrong. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to head up to another busier section of road a little touch further up, and I'll see whether I can do a few more little bits. Hopefully when we get up here, these lights are going to be on red that I'm coming up to, because I just want to demonstrate what happens when you move off on a hill as well. You should do the same, but creep should happen probably for even longer. And as normal, the lights are on green. How many people say that? Want lights to change? We might get the second set changing. Let's have a little look. Come on, lights, change onto red. Damn. Okay, I'll try and demonstrate it a little touch further up. I know we've only got a small little slope here, but hopefully I'll be able to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. When I stop in queues, people often comment that I stop too far back. By stopping about a car length away so I can see all of that vehicle, it allows me this time to creep. Now, we're on a hill. The moment the lights change, I'm going to start moving my feet, but I'm not doing it to go, I'm doing it to assess and start my momentum. And if you're on a hill, this is the best way to do a hill start. People often rush and try and move straight away, but go the other way, creep for longer. So I'm creeping already, and now I'm going. As normal, I'm going to adjust my speed to just fit into the proper space, because you can't trust people to naturally merge in turn, so make sure you're always one step ahead. No one was a problem there though, everyone was good as gold. When you've got meeting situations similar to this road that we've got here, people often sit and wait until the gap is totally there. If you creep, if you just start to edge when your gap's on its way, how do you think that affects people around you? Well, they've got an idea of what you're doing, and they've got an idea that you're going to move. So you can use this creep as a more reliable way to show people that you're going. I've just made it really obvious to the red one. Now I'm going to creep because it shows the vehicle behind that I'm on the way. Learners aren't brilliant at this. Learners tend to wait until the gap is there before they start moving their feet. And that's one of the main reasons why people are quite impatient, because learner drivers, and it's not just solely learner drivers, it can be full license holders as well, but people who drive in this manner are really confusing people. They're not showing their intentions because you're waiting too long, and not showing people you want to get going. But this scenario, doing a left turn, there's a cycle lane behind me. How many times, if you've been on your bike, have you seen a car move and turn straight away? Well, if everyone did this that I'm talking about, and it's not just learners that I'm aiming this at, it's full license holders as well. If everyone did this little creep just for a little moment, remember what I said at the start, maybe yes, maybe no, and it gives you time to look and decide and think before you act. If everyone did this, honestly, it would cut incidents down dramatically. It's only when people do things in a rash manner that they're then going to miss stuff, and it's often down to impatience. People are always in a rush everywhere. But the thing that most people don't get is that doing this little creep in the way that I've explained, you've even seen with the roundabout near the entrance to the tunnel, I was able to creep and I was well away before the car next to me. So creep, look around, bob and toms, we're all good. And now I can get on with the task of changing my feet to suit what was happening. So try and put this into your drive. Try and have a little creep when you're emerging, and creep until you're ready to go. Creep until you're certain. Don't hope it's going to be clear and then just suddenly boot it. I hope that makes sense for everyone. I hope it helps. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you soon.